小组有取消，但是近期新时代中国特色社会主义思想为指导。
Listeners in Western Europe and Japan. We can also be heard on the internet at www.rri.ir/1. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter and other social media platforms. Our programs are also available on TuneIn and via satellite Eurosat 16A on 11,512 MHz vertical polarization, azimuth 16 degrees east. Symbol rate 29,950 mega symbols per second, standard DVB-S2, modulation 8 PSK, audio PID 510. We wish you good reception conditions. Hello, this is Daniel Biltz with the news, the headlines. Romania's President Klaus Iohannis on Monday promulgated Romania's state budget. Romanian Prime Minister Florin Câțu has asked the coordinators of the national COVID-19 vaccination rollout program to take steps to start the third phase sooner than scheduled. And Romania ranks first in the EU in terms of women holding senior executive positions. Romanian President Klaus Iohannis on Monday promulgated the law of the state budget and the social securities budget on the year 2021. According to a communiqué issued by the presidential administration, the economic growth, investment and reforms are the pillars on which the budget has been built, so that all the principles of fiscal budgetary responsibility and public finances responsibility are being observed. The budget deficit target of 7.16% of the GDP indicates a considerable effort of budget consolidation, which isn't burdening the citizen through fresh taxes and duties, the communiqué says. Significant sums for investment in the infrastructure of transport, hospitals and schools have been allotted, as well as for carrying on the efforts aimed at managing the vaccination campaign, as well as the risks associated with the health crisis caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Major investments are supporting the business environment, new development opportunities and the creation of well-paid jobs, the document also says. Parliament last week endorsed the state budget draft law in the government formula without any amendment. This year's budget has been considered on an economic growth of 4.31% and personal expenditures of 9.8%. Romania's Prime Minister Florin Câțu has called on the coordinator of the national vaccination campaign, Valerii Gheorghiță, and Health Minister Vlad Voiculescu to make the necessary preparations for the third vaccination campaign to kick off earlier, as Romania is going to receive in March 2.6 million vaccine doses, a bigger quantity than initially envisaged. According to Câțu, as there are still available doses from those who refused vaccination, it is normal to kick off the last stage of the immunization campaign, which is targeting the entire population. The National Committee coordinating the anti-COVID vaccination on Monday lifted the age restriction for administering the AstraZeneca vaccine. Until now, this vaccine used to be administered to people with ages up to 55 years. Over 1.2 million people have been vaccinated in Romania so far, while the number of infections exceeded 830,000. The virus has so far killed roughly 21,000 people in Romania. Under an order issued jointly by the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health, half of the students in the last years of school are going to attend face-to-face classes, while the other half are to take online courses. The measures will be in place until a rate of 6 infections per 1,000 is reached. Romania ranks first in the EU by the number of women holding top corporate posts, according to a release issued by a women-founded business centre, which quotes a Eurostat report. According to these figures, 34% of the total senior executive positions in Romania are held by women. Also, over 500,000 active businesses in Romania have women as shareholders. Across Europe, women account for 37% of managers, 28% of board members, and 18% of the senior executives. The European Parliament on Monday celebrated International Women's Day in a plenary session. In a conference on women on the front line and lessons learned from managing the crisis, women in politics, healthcare and gender equality shared personal experiences and good practices with MEPs. Several Romanian tennis players on Monday played in the Dubai tennis tournament, a competition with total prizes of $1.84 million. Sorana Cârstea of Romania clinched a two-set win against Lesia Tsurenko of Ukraine and will be up against Anett Kontaveit of Estonia in the competition's next stage. 3 other Romanians have been eliminated from the competition's first round. Anna Bogdan lost to Marketa Vondruseva of the Czech Republic. Patricia Țig has been outperformed by Zelena Ostapenko of Latvia, and Irina Begu lost to Garbine Muguruza of Spain. And that was the news from Radio Romania International in Bucharest.
New restrictions, including local lockdowns, have been imposed in some of Romania's bigger cities and the neighboring villages because of high coronavirus infection rates. I'm Cristina Mateescu with this report by Daniela Budu. Only 1 month and a few days after reopening for business indoors, Bucharest's restaurants, cafes and bars had to close again Sunday midnight for the next 14 days, as the capital city saw its coronavirus infection rate hit 3 cases per 1,000 inhabitants in recent days. The spokeswoman for the Bucharest Prefecture, Mariana Stancu, explains.
Este interzisă această activitate în interior.
This activity is not allowed indoors. It is only allowed outdoors or on terraces with no more than a roof, a ceiling and 1 wall, with tables located within at least 2 meters of each other and with no more than 6 persons sitting at one table if they are from different households. Bars, clubs and discos are not allowed to operate. Preschool and primary school children will continue to attend in-person classes in school, while final year pupils will be attending a combination of remote and in-person learning. Cinemas, theatres, performance and music venues are also closed from Monday, and all outdoor cultural activities are banned. The western city of Timișoara, where the infection rate has long since passed 6 cases per 1,000 inhabitants, as well as several villages in Timiș County, have gone into lockdown for the next 14 days. A nighttime curfew is in place, with movement only allowed for justified reasons and for work, with everyone having to carry a written declaration stating the purpose and destination of travel. Schools are also closed in these areas. Shops have shorter working hours, with the exception of pharmacies and petrol stations, and church services can only be held outdoors. In this area, unlike in Bucharest, cafes and restaurants are also closed for business outdoors. The Timiș County Prefect, Nemet Laszlo, says the lockdown was the last resort, given that Timișoara has been in the red scenario for many weeks. There are no more beds available in intensive care in Timișoara, and we're now trying to send our COVID patients to other counties or cities. This shows how serious the situation is right now. Timișoara has the highest infection rate in the country. We've had a surge in cases since mid-January, and this trend continues. The mayor of Timișoara, Dominic Fritz, has warned that not complying with the measures will affect everyone by extending the lockdown or causing the loss of human lives. Unhappy with the new restrictions imposed by the authorities and the new draft legislation on mandatory vaccination, which Parliament is debating, hundreds of people protested on Sunday in Timișoara and in Bucharest, while similar smaller-scale protests took place in Oradea in the northwest and in Sibiu in the center. The Golden Bear for Best Film at the 2021 Berlin International Film Festival went to the Romanian director Radu Jude's Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn. I'm Mihaela Ignatescu with more in this report by Roxana Vasile. The international jury, made up of 6 directors, winners of the Berlinale Grand Trophy themselves, including the Romanian Adina Pintilie, announced late last week the winner of the International Film Festival in Berlin, the first European festival held this year. Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn by the Romanian Radu Jude. Subtitled A Sketch for a Popular Film, the Romania, Luxembourg, Croatia, the Czech Republic co-production analyzes the relations between individuals and society, starting from the consequences of an amateur porno video uploaded by a secondary school teacher to a specialized website. The film was premiered at the 71st Berlinale, held online because of the pandemic. Without a red carpet and without packed screening halls, this year's edition enjoyed, however, a special format. It was divided in 2. Therefore, the Berlin Festival, traditionally held over a period of 10 days in February, was postponed for March and moved into the virtual space. The industry event stage was held over March 1st to 5th, and at the summer special event, to be held between the 9th and the 20th of June, the lovers of the 7th art will have the opportunity to watch the movie selected for the 2021 edition in the Berlin cinema halls, with the filmmakers attending. The award ceremony will also be held as part of the summer special event. Until then, those who want to watch Radu Jude's film Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn should note that from the jury's point of view, it is an elaborated film, but at the same time wild, smart and childish, geometrical and vibrant, imprecise in the best sense of the word. The Romanian filmmaker has become a common presence at the Berlinale, as he has participated in several editions along the years. In fact, in 2015, Radu Jude won the Golden Bear for Aferim. Excited at the news that he's won the Golden Bear this year too, Radu Jude has admitted, though, that getting older, one learns how to relax and how to take things as they come. You don't know in advance which the winning film will be. The idea is to do what you want, to do something that is relevant to you. Definitely this award helps for the coming ones too, Radu Jude has said. Now he is waiting for the second part of the festival in order to receive the trophy as such. That was a Radio Newsreel.
Next in this broadcast, listen to Song of the Day. Our choice for today is Just For Her. Performing is the band Voltage.
Aș așeza strigături de ploaie înapoi în noi, doar pentru ea, doar pentru ea. Și aș pica cerul în culori, aș deșira fularul de grete ce o sufoc în cer, doar pentru ea. Și te-aș fura, doar pentru ea. Îmi bate inima și nu pot să opresc. Doar pentru ea, orice s-ar întâmpla, o lume m-aș lupta. Doar pentru ea, aș ridica soarele din mare în zorii gri, doar pentru ea, doar pentru ea. Și noi de îndoieli s-ar iubi. Așa râdere privite din povestea ei, doar pentru ea te-aș repara. Doar pentru ea îmi bate inima. Și nu mă opresc, te iubesc. Doar pentru ea ce găsești tu, o lume m-aș lupta. Doar pentru ea și tot ce mi-a dorit striga pe marea mea. Doar pentru ea îmi bate inima și nu pot să o opresc. Te strige, te iubesc. Doar pentru ea ce s-ar întâmpla, o lume m-aș lupta. Doar pentru ea.
You are listening to Radio Romania International. Focus on Romania. The History Show. Hello,